Alright, so at the time of making this video, the new live-action Mufasa movie along with Sonic 3 is coming out in theaters in about a week. While as a lifelong Sonic fan, I'm very excited for this Sonic movie. Seeing yet another live-action adaptation of The Lion King coming to theaters leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. For context, I adore animated movies. I'd say a good chunk of my favorite movies of all time are actually animated. So, you may be wondering, why would I not be happy about one of the biggest animated movies of all time getting a prequel in theaters? Well, it isn't because I don't like The Lion King or anything like that. What I'm about to say might send some people into a frenzy, but I don't think I've ever watched The Lion King to completion. I don't know how crazy that is, but at least for me, The Lion King was always just a movie that people put on in the background when I was a kid, and I never really paid attention to it. Let me know if you're in the same boat as me, I'm kind of curious, but back to the topic at hand. If I don't have a problem with The Lion King either, then why does this movie bother me so much? Well, it's because of this. Animation has been looked down on for a very long time now. While things like anime have become pretty mainstream in the recent years, a lot of people still dismiss animation for being this sort of childish realm of media.
Catnip. That's no mine.
And while it's okay to think that, despite being objectively wrong, all these live-action adaptations, at least to me, feel like an attempt at trying to replace the medium completely, which is where I kind of draw the line. Movies such as Spider-Verse have shown us that there are some things that you simply cannot do in live action. Take this scene for instance. This isn't a complicated scene by any means. It is simply Miles going up the stairs in a hurry. Yet, for something so simple, just look at it. The movements he's performing and the fluidity to them, along with the small details that you may not even notice on your first watch, such as his movements becoming sloppier the more he takes off his suit, turning into Miles rather than being Spider-Man. That's just one scene you can take into account. If you want, you could literally just take a screenshot at any point of this film, and it'll look like you ripped it straight out of a comic book. Even though movies such as TASM 2 do a pretty good job with some of this stuff, like the swinging scenes and the fight scenes, live action just could never truly capture the speed and agility of a character like Spidey. But you know what? Even though I think both Marvel and DC's best projects have been animated, live-action comic book movies have proven to me many times now that they are definitely capable of bringing some of these characters to life. So I am perfectly happy with them continuing to make these films. And I'm very excited to see what they do with the Superman movie coming out in July and the Fantastic Four movie that just wrapped up shooting. But the shit that really makes me rip my hair out is a certain movie that just got its first trailer not too long ago. Yup. I'm talking about the How to Train Your Dragon live-action adaptation. How to Train Your Dragon is my favorite animated trilogy of all time, at least for now. So when I watched this trailer, I was not happy at all. Not because of the reasons I saw everyone else hating on this trailer, like the casting of this movie. I don't really care about that. Again, my issue lies with this. Don't get me wrong, I don't think he looks bad. If I had to imagine what Toothless would look like in real life, I'd say this is pretty spot on. But that's the pickle. Why the fuck does he look so real? How on earth are they going to make him do this in the movie? Or if down the line they adapt the other two movies, how the fuck is he gonna do this? Obviously, I haven't watched the movie, so it could completely prove me wrong, and frankly, I hope it does. But based purely off what I saw on the trailer, I feel like they're just gonna go with a much more serious tone to match the live action setting, which means there's a possibility that we lose the scenes that make Toothless, well, Toothless, with this being DreamWorks' first live-action adaptation. If this movie does well at the box office, which, let's be honest, of course it's going to do well at the box office, we're reaching a point of no return. What's next after this? Live-action Shrek? Live-action Puss in Boots? Hell, I saw someone online mention the possibility of a live-action Spirit, which at first made me laugh, but then it dawned on me, holy shit, they might actually do that. All these movies making millions upon millions of dollars at the box office just invite the idea of completely replacing all these incredible movies that are enhanced with their beautiful animation with a bland-looking film that costs half the time and effort yet brings the same if not more success. And if this keeps up, I can't help but think that it'll only be a matter of time before studios start putting animation completely to the side and focusing their efforts more towards adapting as much live-action movies as they can. Now, that isn't to say that there can't be some live-action adaptations. Like I already said, the Spider-Man movies are a good example of this. But another great example of this would be Mufasa's current #1 competitor at the box office, the Sonic movies. Even though I'm not in love with everything they did in these movies, the live-action aspect of this film is done to perfection. Who remembers the abomination that was realistic Sonic? Could Could you imagine if they kept this design throughout the entire trilogy? I sure can't. And apparently neither could they, because they delayed the movie and changed them completely to a much more unrealistic design. They got rid of his pearly whites and they made his eyes much bigger like they were in the video games. And now look at him, he looks great. Like I said, I don't love everything they did in these movies, but I am really happy that they made Sonic so expressive and energetic like he should be. If studios want to make live action adaptations, they need to take a page out of the Sonic team's book and give these movies the love and care they deserve. And not just do it for a quick cash grab. For mass characters, animate their eyes, just like they did for Spidey in the Home trilogy, or Deadpool in all of his live action movies. For the creatures especially, keep all their cartoony features that gave them all their charm in the first place. I want Toothless looking goofy as hell and nothing else. But even then, please just don't touch the Goldies like Shrek, The Incredibles, WALL-E, etc. How to Train Your Dragon is already a perfect movie in my eyes, and it can't get any better, meaning there's only room to fuck it up more. Sorry, that's like my 6th time complaining about this adaptation. If you couldn't tell, I'm bitter. But I don't know, man. I just hope they make me look like a complete idiot and come out with a banger of an adaptation, but expectations are definitely low. If there's anything I want you to take away from this video, besides all my complaints about How to Train Your Dragon, is to keep showing love to animated projects. And if you're not really a fan of animation, give it a chance. I promise you won't regret it. Anyway, I just wanted to come on here and kind of rant about this. So, yeah, let me know what you think about all these new live action adaptations coming out. And thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to check out some of my other videos. And, yeah, thanks again. See ya.